Good morning, traders. Today is the 8th of August, 8/8. Kind of an ominous day when you think about it. This is the Plan Your Trade video for August 8th. This is Brad Matheny. We had a wonderful flat down day, not really visible here on the SPY, more so visible here on the ES. Take a look at this. It's just a beautiful setup on a flat down day yesterday, right here. And today we're seeing a little bit of upward activity, likely going to open within this range here. But today is our Harami day, which looks very similar to this type of a day. So it would indicate that back here on the SPY, that we would be staying within a range of this body, this big black body here. So somewhere in this range, we are going to be trading today. It gives us a very solid range for activity today. Let's come down and take a look at the 30-minute while I pull up the SPY cycle patterns. We are looking at this Harami day on 8/8. Looks like a carryover trend. We are in the midst, in my opinion, of trying to base and bottom. This is the 30-minute coming back down. You can see here, this is all of the flat down pattern. This is the area that I drew yesterday, thinking that we would end up in this area. We actually closed a bit lower. And then this is what I drew yesterday with regards to the opening of the Harami pattern. So I'm going to move this over to here where it should be and move this over to here where it should be. And basically what we're looking at, folks, is a fairly wide range day. We could see it rally up into the 530, 532, 533 area. We could see it move back down into this 518, 517 area, moving back down into this low, maybe 516. So, if I were to come over and give you an idea of what I think is going to happen, remember, we had this big down day yesterday, which was supposed to be a flat down bar, but it became more prevalent on the SPY chart. What we would likely see happen, assuming we're going to open about this level, we're probably going to open in this area, maybe try to find some support down in this area, and then come back up and then possibly roll back down to the downside. Now, when I say this is general trending here, and it's kind of slow on my PC this morning, remember that we could have, deep lows up to very high highs coming back down into this area and stalling back out. Maybe 520 to 524 is a good area for end of day activity. A Harami pattern typically indicates that we're going to have some sort of an inside day. It could be an inside day like this. This is an inside day here. Or it could be an inside day kind of like this. Here's another inside day right here. And now these are bars, not days, but an inside day or Harami pattern means a body within a body. Harame or Harami basically means pregnant in Japanese, a body within a body. So when you get into Harami patterns, you're looking at kind of like this is a good Harami pattern here. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, this is a Harami pattern here. So you're getting a kind of a inside range. You can still have highs and lows outside the previous high-low range or previous body range, as we indicated here. But generally, you get an inside body, meaning you get a bar, like here's a Harami, nice tight Harami right here. This is the classic style Harami, where you get the very tight bars. You can get Harami patterns like this. If this was just a little lower on the open and it closed, this is an inverted hammer forming into Harami with confirmation here, or would have been Harami. And you can get these big wild swings, which is why I'm trying to tell you we could see a big wild swing today in the markets, ending maybe at 521 to 524, 525. And I think that's a very real possibility, given the fact that we are starting to move closer to the apex. Change the color of this. Closer to the apex of these moves. And I believe that If you come back over here, possibly on an hourly chart, you would be able to see this apexing pattern a bit more clearly. And remember, price either does two things, guys. It either trends or it flags. Okay, so I've got an apex drawn here, but I will draw it based on yesterday's high, coming back out over here, coming back out over here, assuming we get some sort of rejection. That puts our apexing out into this area, not this area. And you can see we're going to be moving potentially into an apex that puts us around the 9th, Friday, as some sort of a big volatile breakout move, which is why I think today could be a building of volatility moving into that apex mode. And then notice we get an inside breakaway on the 9th, which will, I believe, be to the upside. Then we get a momentum rally, a gap up lower, which indicates we might try to move with a gap early next week. And then we get this gap breakaway, rally. And I think we're going to be off to the races to the upside. Now, remember the cycle patterns, when the VIX is above 18, 19, 20, they can fail at a higher rate. Normally, when some crisis event hits, the cycle patterns can sometimes not work. Okay. And that's because, some panic event. Think of it like, you go about your day, your normal schedule would be get up, get ready for work, take a shower, get in your car, drive to work, get a coffee, show up, clock in, do whatever. That's your normal day, right? And it typically happens, every day with a couple of changes, depending on what the to-do list is today, or if you have to run to a doctor or something might change. That's kind of what the cycle patterns are. They're predicting, what the day is going to look like for a normal day. Okay, today might be a doctor day. Today might be take your kids to special school event day. Today might be call out sick or whatever. But when some crisis happens, you get up in the morning, you're getting ready to work, you get a phone call, and your mother's in the hospital having some crisis. All of a sudden, you're in crisis mode. And crisis mode means normal day out the window. Now we're in a crisis mode. Now we got to drive, out of state to go check on mom, do whatever, and we might be gone for 4 days. And that's kind of what happened back over here in late July, early August. This was kind of a crisis. I call it the Kamala-Crush or Kamala-Crush. Then we had the Bank of Japan move. Well, we're moving back into normalcy. And normalcy for me means that we are going to see the SPY move back up into this area and then attempt to move higher up into this 560 area into middle end of August. So at this point, we're working through this apex. You can see the flagging formation here. We're working through this apex. We're likely going to try to pen it and apex out today and tomorrow. So expect maybe a little volatility today. I expect almost certain volatility on Friday with a potential breakout or initial breakout trend. And I expect we'll probably be back up here at 531, 532, 533 area. Then we're going to consolidate maybe for a day. And then I think we're going to rally back up into this 545, 542 area and try to find support. Okay, so let's take a look at the QQQs. And again, same type of setup. So even though it's going to load here and it may look different with lines, we basically got the same type of setup. So this is the 1 hour. Yeah, I've kind of drawn it. So here's your Harami pattern setting up today. Remember, it's going to basically be a wide-ranging bar. So if we open here, see where we're opening, right around this area. If we open in this area, we would be expecting potentially yesterday's range to the previous day's potential range, but then ending somewhat flat. So the bar move could be very flat overall. And again, we will end that day here. And then Friday, we move into the inside breakaway. An inside breakaway pattern typically means that we will start in this area, may see a little gap. I doubt it though, but we would start in this area and potentially break away potentially filling this gap area here. And that could be a very big move. I mean, I'm not suggesting Friday would be a 2% move, but when we get into it, Friday, that's 4%. That's not going to happen. So Friday at 2.5%. Yeah, I could see that happening, and that would put us up in this area. So ignore this upper range, and really understand that Friday, maybe 2.5%. So maybe up into this area, maybe a little higher, maybe. The big move, in my opinion, comes on the 13th, 14th, 15th. So if I were to estimate, we'd be in somewhere in this area around that time frame, and then we would see a fairly large upward move, maybe back up into the 465 to 475 area. That's really coming, in my opinion, based on, well, we'll do it here as a box. Pretty much coming in this area, I think we're going to see a very solid upward move based on the cycle patterns. Now, of course, that's coming into this area where we get the gap breakaway, rally, carryover, inside breakaway. This is, I read it as, runner, rally, carryover, rally, runner. And if the trend is up, you've got a very strong potential for an upward trend next week. I think we could see a very strong move back up into this area here, these previous highs. In fact, you can see I've drawn this. Let me try to grab it. There we go. And that would be a pretty easy target. Okay, now real quickly, let's take a look at gold. I don't know if you guys followed my research. Hopefully you did, because gold is making a beautiful move. I came over here and I produced this. Let me get over here. Like I said, my system's a little slow, so that's because I've been running it now for days. I got to reset the laptop. So gold, I warned that we would be setting up for a nice solid rally phase. In fact, if you come over here and you look, I set this up just yesterday, 22 hours ago. Gold, plan your trade for 8-7, huge dual leg rally set up to 25.50. And then prior to that, I had set up a, where is it? Probably down here. There it is. Plan your trade, 731. Gold reaches upper flag channel. Warned that we would congest for about 5, 6, 7, 8 days, building a base down here in this area before we started a rally. So long and short of it, guys, look here. We're looking at very solid trending. And let me come back to gold. Look at this rally phase here in gold. So we're going to attempt to move with gold, I think, up above 25.40. So understand that we have this previous high, and this previous high up at around 25.30, 25.33, right up over here, is really going to become, shrink, really going to become a target area. So, and I've drawn this out over here. I'll show it to you again. So this basing, this flagging, you can see this flag, beautiful flag. We have literally almost perfect setup. You'll see me do this over and over again. I want you guys to learn. So here we come, set up below. We're in a pennant formation. Remember, price flags until it trends. So, you can argue that, in fact, I'll argue it here with you. You can argue that we had a pennant formation here or a downward channel here. And let's see if we do this. And here, really, let's come to this area. You can argue that we have this breakdown flagging formation. This is really a flag channel. Okay. And what we end up with is we come up, we set up a high, we come set up a low, we reconfirm the high here. So the way I would interpret this is we have a move up here, doesn't count as much of anything. Come on, draw. Nope, not drawing. Okay, let's try it again. Draw. Not drawing. Don't know why. Okay, so let's get out of that. Get out of that. Get out of that. Come back here. Okay, so let's try draw. There we go. Up to here, down to here, and then this sets up what I call wave one. So this would be basically you set up this base. So you would come here and you go 1, 2, 3, and then 4 coming down here to a double base, and then 5 to flag out. That's how I see it. We got our breakout. Then this breakout, which didn't rally very high, set up a secondary flag, which counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, moving into volatility, and then 5, breaking out. So I expect this move in gold to try to immediately move up to the 2460, 2470. If you had me pick a number today where I think gold's going to stall out, I'd probably say 2462 to 2465, right in that area. Then I think we're going to stall just a little bit, maybe into new flagging as I've drawn here. And then we're going to move up into this 2550, 2570. And this is going to be the second leg big rally. And I think that's going to be a very solid move for gold. And it's going to turn into, I might have to go to the weekly chart to show you, but it's going to turn into a massive move. Yeah, I probably will have to. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I can get it there. There we go. It's going to turn into a massive move up into what I've labeled the expansion zone here. So understand that, when we get into this mode, folks, of gold going somewhat parabolic, we then move into an area where gold could move into an extremely aggressive price mode. I've drawn it here in these green lines. Could move into an extremely aggressive price mode into early 2025 into this expansion phase. Okay, so now the expansion phase, you think, wow, Brad, that looks incredible. Gold potentially moving, hypothetically, we're in this area up to this area, moving 50% higher over the next 7 months. That's incredible. Yeah, well, get ready, folks, because look, the long term objective of gold is even higher. It is way up here. And I've gone through this in many other videos, but you can see if we scroll this down, you can see that the long-term objective for gold is way up here. And I hate to say it, but even higher. Okay, so I don't want to, I'm not trying to, like, oh, this guy's full of crap or whatever. No, I'm telling you guys that this is the real long-term projectile for gold, in my opinion, is really like 13,500 plus. So we're really only in the very beginning of these stages to move higher. And what happens is we're just moving into what I call the breakaway phase. You can see here that we're just now moving out of the breakaway phase. Let me try to get somewhere where I can drag it. There we go, maybe. Okay. So we're just now leaving the breakaway phase in a flagging formation, trying to move up into the upper level of the breakaway phase, which is up in this area, 4674 to 4700 roughly, or 2674 to 2700. And then we're going to move up into this area, 35, 36, 3700 for gold. Very big move setting up. So, and that's many months. That's all the way into 2025, maybe into June, July, September of 2025. So let me go back over here to the SPY and end with the concept that we are going to be moving into sideways trading today, into a Harami pattern. And again, with Bitcoin at 57,000, I'm going to do a separate Bitcoin video today, but I would expect Bitcoin to mount a strong defense of the 57,000 area. If you know anything about my past research, that's where I thought Bitcoin was going to form a bottom and rally. We've had this big crush, which has really disrupted protection assets, hedge assets. And I think Bitcoin's going to really mount a very strong defense around 57,000. Okay, that's it for now. 20 minutes. Sorry, tried to keep it short, but didn't happen today. We'll talk later. Oh, and thanks to TradingView. Thank you guys for picking my one of my videos yesterday as the editor's pick. Wonderful. We really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.